From the center of the universe, Toronto, Ontario, Canada, this is the SDM Show with your host, Rob Cairns. The SDM Show focuses on business, life, productivity, digital marketing, WordPress, and more. Sit back, relax, grab your favorite drink, and enjoy the show. Here is Rob.
Hey everybody, Rob Cairns here. In today's podcast, I have Ryan Logan with me, and we're going to talk about Influence WP. Grab a drink, sit back, relax, enjoy the show. Hey everybody, Stunning Digital Marketing is your digital concierge. We help you put the pieces together to make your marketing success. Specialties we have including WordPress design and development, WordPress security, which is one of our most popular offerings, ads, and more. So if you want to succeed in the digital world, go on over to stunningdigitalmarketing.com and have a look at what we offer, and we'd be glad to help you. And let's jump on a call and make it happening. That's stunningdigitalmarketing.com. Hey, everybody, Rob Cairns here. And today I've got my guest, Mr. Ryan Logan, with me. And how are you today, Ryan?
Hey, Rob, thanks for having me. No complaints. No complaints.
Yeah, you were saying before we went there, it's rainy, and I'm looking outside, and the Greater Toronto area is overcast and crappy. So we
Yeah,
can
can
commiserate.
relate.
You can relate, I'm sure.
Yeah, for sure.
We are in at the time of this record in December, so we are kind of there. So I can send you snow if you want it. That's
Yeah, no thanks. No thanks.
um. Before we get on to what we're here to talk about, do you want to tell us a little bit about how you got into WordPress and how that came about?
Yeah, so I started my career in 1997 through 2019. I was in the IT industry. So I worked myself all the way up from help desk to interim CIO of a high frequency trading company. So high stress, lots of money,
Yep.
changing hands in real time. And I went from there, started my own IT consulting firm for a number of years. And through that time, I had numerous clients ask me about websites, and I kept saying, no, 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 don't know how to do it. And after about the 10th time, I locked myself in my apartment at the time over the weekend and taught myself WordPress. So that was about 2014. And then I went full time in WordPress in 2016 and launched an agency. And then since then, I've launched another agency which specializes in building directories. So both of those are going today and going extremely well. And that's what's kind of brought me here to this project we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, it's funny when you mention your IT background because that's exactly my background. I spent years at one of Ontario's biggest hospitals, high stress too. Hospital environments are awful. Working around patients, working project managing projects in the ER and in the OR, which has its challenges in its own. You can be in an OR operating room at 10 o'clock at night and have a nurse come in and say, "By the way, we have an emergency on the way in, and you got 20 minutes to get your little butt out of here." And it happens all the time. Plus, I
Yep.
was plus I was the on-call team leader and the team leader for the call center.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I can appreciate where you're coming from about high stress. By the time I left that, and I was there for 22 years, I was done and done and done. And there was no such thing as a 30-hour week in my book. My weeks were 60, 70, 80. I used to get calls at
Wow.
home all the time. And I enjoyed it much and I like the people, but I got to tell you, hospitals are politically motivated.
Yeah, yeah. I'd like to say that I miss corporate, but I don't.
I don't. So I'm there. And I get that. I get that. So
Yeah.
you get a new project, Influence WP. I was saying to you before we went there, I really like the project. I like what you're doing. Talk to me about and like what need he's trying to fill.
So part of that backstory I told you about, working with those, when I started the IT consulting business, I was working with small shops, mom and pop stores. And I routinely saw them being taken advantage of. I'm not going to mention any specific vendors in the
Yeah.
IT space or the web hosting space or anything like that, but they were just being sold things that they didn't need and they didn't know any better. So I found this, and I found a lot of enjoyment going in, looking at their bills, streamlining their processes, canceling some of these contracts they didn't need. Really, really enjoyed that. And just over the years, I've just witnessed a lot of just bad stuff and people being taken advantage
Yep.
of. So part of the Influence WP, one aspect of it is the deals. So if I send a client of mine, we're building a project together, and I send them, like, look at this solution. This is what I'm proposing. It's in the human nature to say, well, can I find a deal on this? So then they go down this rabbit hole of I go to this site and this site and this site, and there's actually no deals that they run across. It's like fake links, affiliate links, all this type of
Yep.
thing.
Yep.
And then because of the IT background I've got, it's like, okay, they're getting hit with these pop-ups that inject malware on their computers. And now I got to fix their computers because I sent them on this goose chase, apparently. So was just one of the aspects of this is to try to put a dent in those bad actors out there and
No,
give people one trusted space to go to, and they could be guaranteed the deal they click on is legit. That's part of it.
I agree with you with the malware and the pop-ups. I mean, even though I've been out of that game for like 15 years, I have a couple clients, good friend of mine who runs a jewelry store, and I took on all his digital side of his world. And because he's a friend, I agreed to take on the hardware. And some days I kick myself for doing it because you know how that goes.
Yeah.
and and the classic one is I had my son in here the other day with a laptop, and he's like, Dad, I got a problem. And I said, Oh, what? And it turned out his girlfriend was navigating around websites and looking for a movie to watch. Well, we all know movie sites that are illicit have all kinds of bad actors attached to them, right?
Hmm.
So,
Hmm.
and it was one of these where it was faster to wipe the Windows 11 laptop, knowing there was no date on it, was all in the cloud, than even trying to fix the problem. It was just like, give it to me, I'll have it back to you in 4 hours and goodbye and see you later. And
Yeah.
he's like, really? And it's, and people don't understand. And it's the more we talk to people about security, this is a bad time because it's holidays, so there's a lot of
Hmm.
scams running around. I think, I honestly think the more naive people get, and they just say, "Oh, it won't happen to me. It's not going to happen to me. I'm not going to get scammed." And me, who's a security guy, has gone through bank fraud in the last 3 years, and I'm more careful than most people. So there
Hmm.
you go. So
Yeah, and the security part is just one aspect. I just dropped a video and a blog post about this whole topic.
yeah.
And I basically walked people through, if you look at it from the standpoint of someone brand new to WordPress. So maybe they're comparing Wix to WordPress. And they're
Mhm.
like, they look at Wix and they're like, okay, this is the price they pay. It is what it is. I understand this for the most part. But they also hear that WordPress is something they should look at. So then they
Yep.
go to WordPress, and then they're like, when they're doing their cost analysis, they're like, okay, I'm gonna go see how much this thing called Elementor, for example, costs, because that's the closest thing to Wix
Yep.
potentially, or at least that's what they read. So then they go out and they human nature again, Elementor discounts, Elementor deals, and they hit these sites that I highlighted. And at the end of them, it's not actually a deal. And they get frustrated. And in my mind, that they're now looking at WordPress. They're associating this with WordPress because if you look at these deal websites, because of SEO, they are injecting WordPress all over these websites. It's on every page listed 1,000 times. So it's to somebody that doesn't know the difference, they now associate this mistrust with the WordPress brand, product ecosystem, whatever you want to call it.
Mhm.
So there's multiple aspects that make those types of sites horrible. Not just the security, but yeah.
No, I agree with you. And now we're all in this hidden ecosystem too, where Wix is coming out and saying, "Oh, you can do a site for X cost," and Shopify's coming out and saying, "Oh, for $49." But again, it's advertising and marketing because
Mhm.
what people don't realize is to do anything with Shopify, the baseline's not going to get you very far anyway. And God forbid you want to change a payment processor and not use theirs because that's going to
Yeah.
cost you more, and so on and so forth. And the problem is most small business owners, um, in a lot of cases, are too trusting. And I really find that they read, oh, it's this, or they read
Mhm.
that, and they say, oh, if it said it must be verbatim, instead of actually doing some homework. And part of it is a lack of understanding, but also part of it is a lack of time on their part as well, because they have a
Exactly.
core business to run.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And the deals, like I said, that's just one aspect of this project. If you want to talk about it now, I don't know, but like one of the
Yeah,
major
go ahead.
aspects too is just making connections with the vendors, whether it's experts, podcast, people like you, hosting vendors, you have a plugin, you have themes, making trusted connections that connects them with the consumer. So it's all
Mhm.
about trust and quality relationships is
Yeah.
really the heart of what it is that I'm doing. And over the years running a WordPress agency, I found that, hey, I reach out to a partner or a potential partner and I say, hey, I have a client interested in this. Do you want to partner up? I can do videos for you. I can write guides for you in exchange for a discount for my community. And they were like 9 times out of 10, 100% didn't even flinch. And I knew I was onto something there that people were starving to get their name out there. And, so I identified a need there as well.
Yeah.
I'm not a marketing company. Like that's not what I do. I'm one additional voice out there helping people spread the word. It's kind of how I see this business.
Yeah, and you said two keywords are trust and quality. And I really believe that because the way people work and the way they buy, and you know this, right? There's people have a multitude of services. So, you can go to Dev A, Dev B, Dev C, and choose one. And they probably offer pretty well similar types of ways of doing things. People tend to work with people they trust and they like. And that's
Mhm.
just the reality of it all.
Mhm.
It's not always a cost thing. Like everybody thinks it's cost. And I would argue and say, no, it's not. If they
Mhm.
like people they work with, then it becomes not a cost thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I've said that many times before. The cost of not working with somebody may cost you more in the long run because of the broken trust and the path they lead you down is not the right path.
Yep.
Um, yeah, that trust is everything. It really is.
And sometimes it's just a personality clash. Like I know I've gone through it with clients where I thought a client was a good mix. And then I look at the end of the day and say, they don't honor rules, they don't honor contracts, and I'm like, oh, it's, and we've all been there, right? So
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
you're laughing at me, but
yeah,
the reality is we've all been there, and then
yeah.
you're like, how do I just navigate this mess? And then it just and once that happens, the trust erodes and the quality erodes, and it
Mhm.
just becomes, how do I finish this off and get rid of it, kind of deal.
Yeah, yeah. Agreed.
So, so how does Influence WP work, and how does it solve the trust problem?
Well, part of it we talked about already is the deals where
Yep.
when the consumer hits it, they and at the other end, the deal's going to work. And it's what I ask partners is to guarantee me that you're giving me at least equal to the best deal that you offer on the web. I'm not asking for special treatment, higher discounts than anyone else. That's not what I'm doing. I just want to establish the trust, this being a one place people can go to know
Yep.
they're going to get what's advertised. Um, and then part of that is what's unique to this business is there's no affiliation. I don't use a single affiliate link
Good
anywhere
for
in
you.
this business. So partners benefit because I'm not double dipping into their pockets. Consumers can trust what I'm saying because I'm not motivated by money. It's just, here are the facts. Here's the solution. Here's this community. Here's this podcast. Like, here's the facts. You make the decision now, but this is a trusted opinion, informed uh, opinion, that sort of thing.
Yeah. And you mentioned you're not doing any affiliates. So I have to tell you, in my business, I do almost none. I don't
Mhm.
write blog posts with affiliate links. I don't have an advertiser on this podcast. And people shake at me and say, why? And I say, it all becomes around the whole trust factor. I just don't do it. And I choose not to do it, partially because I don't want to be double dipping, partially because I want to be able to have an opinion and not have to worry about who I give it and what I say. I have to be honest. If I
Hmm.
don't like a product, I'll come out and say I don't like a product. If I love
Hmm.
a product, I'll come out and say I love a product. And people say, "Oh, you got paid to say that." I'll say, "Really? Show me one." Because you can't. I
Yeah.
just don't. I don't do it.
Yeah. Um, in my other agencies, I do give opinions like that. And this one, the aim was stay neutral,
Yep.
put nothing but the facts out there, no affiliate anything, and just a positive experience for everyone. No negativity, just that sort of thing. And I also wanted to point out that I do have an affiliate program, but it's credit based. So I am, as part of that video and blog post I just dropped, one of the things I challenge people to do is to flip their affiliate program to credit based. Because if the people truly believe in what it is that you're doing, they will have no problem taking whatever they earn and putting it back in the business they're supporting.
Of
The
course.
second you flip that affiliate program to actual monetary value outside of their platform, all of these websites, nefarious websites for deals will go away. They would go away. That's the only reason they exist. So I call
Yeah.
them junk affiliates. So
Yeah. They are, and they're obviously making money because
yeah.
because they still exist, and there seems to be more and more of them every day, and it's just
Yeah.
and it actually, and it's quite common where, the disclaimer, you're reading an article and it's, oh, there might be affiliate links in this article. I can guarantee you the minute I read that, every link that indicates a product is probably got an affiliate link, right? So then you kind of wonder and say, how many of these would this owner of this website actually use? And
Yeah.
I have a policy that I never recommend to clients or anybody product that I would never buy myself or use.
Hmm.
I just won't do it. It doesn't matter if it's technology off my business, if it's a piece of hardware, if it's a piece of software. If I'm not going to use it or I wouldn't consider using it, I won't recommend it. It's that
Hmm.
simple.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. That's how it is with my agencies. Like I said, with this particular project, it's just here's the facts. Here's your trusted deal.
yep.
You guys make the decision from that.
Mm.
But yeah, I always like to say to the potential partners, imagine having like your top level affiliate. Well, I hope I will be, without having to pay them. Like, just imagine that. And
Yep.
I don't care if Influence WP if 1,000 people copy this. I'm absolutely fine if everybody goes to that type of thing, just to get rid of these sites that I absolutely hate.
Yeah, I agree with it.
Um, yeah.
How is the so if you want to go over to Influence WP, host a
Mhm.
deal, how's the process? Like, walk us through that. Is there a cost to cover
Yeah,
your
yeah.
cost?
Awesome question. It's the most important one as far as the partnership. So influencewp.com, you can just go to partners in the navigation. That's going to take you to the partners page, and it's going to list all of the perks there, all the things that I'm going to do. Maybe there's going to be a team eventually, but right now it's just me. And then you'll scroll down to the bottom, and there's the Our Ask section. And the only requirement to get a free lifetime partnership is the deal that we've been discussing.
Yeah.
And then make sure it's at least equal to the best deal you offer on the web. Don't trump it on a daily basis. So, like, if you're going to give IWP 20% off, I don't want people going to your website and seeing 30% off, because there's no point in doing that. There's no partnership at that point. Now, like Black Friday and things like that, that's totally understandable. That's different, right? Um, and that's it. That's really the only requirement. You fill out the form, give the link to your product, your name. That's it, really. And then there's a link. Let's say, Ryan, we can't offer a deal. Like, that's just not part of our business model. There's a link that's where they can pay to be a partner, and it's, how do I put it? For less than a cost of a monthly cup of coffee.
Okay.
It's like, this is not a revenue scheme. This is literally trying to cover some of my time and my operational costs. Um, full transparency, I'm 1000% upside down on this. And as I told
Yep.
you before the recording, as long as I enjoy doing this, it's going to stay like this.
Yep.
And yeah.
So in terms of that, how long does it take once I go through that process to get approved and up on the website? Is that like a 24-hour approval
Oh,
process, or is that give
I
or
mean,
take?
I am really fast. Like my clients come first, 100%.
Yep.
Assuming I have nothing else like on that plate,
Yep.
it's pretty much I'm working for you immediately to get you on board.
Okay.
I don't think I've had a single one that took 24 hours.
Are you having good luck in getting this? So we all know in the WordPress community, stuff like this goes over really well because we all get the community, right? Are
Mhm.
you having luck getting businesses from outside the community to look at the page to say, here's a place I can go and not be bombarded with all this advertising crap and fake affiliate crap and get that? Or is it mostly people in the community going there?
There's outside as well. So how one of the things I do is I don't just go WordPress is the core, right? So that's the
Yep.
people that I want to go for, the WordPress vendors. But there are situations where, like just today on Twitter X, someone said, "Can you recommend a alternative to Solution X?"
Yeah,
So
so this,
I look at all of these recommendations and I'm like, okay, these aren't WordPress specific, but here are WordPress people asking for it. So
yep,
I will reach out to them and I will say, hey, I understand you're not WordPress focused. This is what I'm doing. Do you have any interest? And it's been pretty good. Like there's been people outside of WordPress, they have nothing to do with WordPress,
yep.
um, on being coming on board, and so that's pretty cool.
Good. That's awesome. So if anybody wants to talk to you about the project, how's the best way? Just to kind of look you up on X, Twitter, Blue Sky, or email you?
Yeah, they can do that. On Twitter, it's X, it's Pine Digital Co. So
Yeah.
Pine. They can also just go to influencewp.com and go to the partners page, and then there's a book a meeting CTA call to action at the bottom. If someone wants to book a free meeting with me just to chat about stuff. Blue Sky, I think it's at influencewp.com is the handle over there.
Yeah. Everybody seems to be migrating to Blue Sky these days, eh?
I mean, we'll see what happens. I feel like you got to be in both places right now just to see how you like it. Um,
I agree.
there's a lot of people in WordPress that have left Twitter X wholesale, and they're just on Blue Sky. So it's good to be on both.
You can thank Grandma for that, which we will not get into because it would just put me in another place that I don't want to be. Right? I
Yeah.
know that in politics, it's funny because I was saying to somebody this morning, Blue Sky reminds me of what Twitter was like when Twitter started, and I
Oh,
think,
really?
yeah, a little bit.
What's weird is that the followers I get are it's like a lot of politics, and I'm like, I have nothing to do with politics, so
Yep.
it's so weird.
And by the way, all the Bitcoin people are on Twitter too, on Blue Sky
Uh,
as well. I should tell
okay.
you. Yeah, they're there too. So anyway, Ryan, thanks for coming on and sharing Influence WP. Check it out. It sounds
Yeah.
like a really good way of vetting some of the noise out there, as I call it. I mean, and I think you're
Yeah.
doing a really good job. So thanks for the service to the community. It's so much
Yeah.
appreciated.
Yeah. I appreciate you having me and just trying to make a positive influence.
Yeah, I'm sure you are. Thanks, Ryan. Have a great day, my friend.
All
Be
right.
well.
Thank you, sir.
Very special thank you to Ryan for joining me on this edition of the STM Show. Thank you very much for listening to the STM Show. The STM Show is brought to you by Stunning Digital Marketing, your digital concierge. For all your digital marketing needs, especially WordPress security, jump on over to stunningdigitalmarketing.com and let's help you put the pieces together and make your business succeed in the marketing realm. That's stunningdigitalmarketing.com. This podcast is dedicated to my late father, Bruce Cairns. Dad, I love you. I miss you very much. And thanks for all the inspiration over the years. and your caring, your understanding, and helping me grow as an individual. Thank you, Dan.